Hello everyone. Today we will examine together what happened in the new episode of the series Arafta, and what took place in the last episode. The series Arafta has captured the audience in an emotional grip by melting the cold breath of revenge with the burning heat of love in its recent episodes. The massive revenge plan the Eights has meticulously crafted over the years collapsed like a paper tower when it hit the wall of his uncontrollable love for Mercan's being shaken by a treacherous attack was not only a security breach for Eights, but also the first deep crack in his frozen heart. With this bloody event, Eights transformed from a punishing executioner into a wounded hero trying to pull the woman he loves out of the hell he created with his own hands, becoming trapped in that dark limbo referred to in the title of the series, caught between two worlds. As the excitement in Arafta continues to grow, surprise developments await us. For Asli, the owner of the toxic mind behind the scenes, time is now flowing in reverse. Every game she plays, every step she takes, causes the circle to narrow rather than moving her away from her target. Ironically, her dream of pushing Mercan out of life like a shadow and becoming the sole authority in Eights' world is preparing her own end. Because the attack she planned has not separated the lovers, instead, it has bound them together with unbreakable loyalty. The one thing Asli did not account for was this. The pain, fear, and possibility of loss created an irreversible bond between Eights and Mercan. Muzain, another link in this dark chain, has long exceeded her limits with the instinct to save her daughter. As she is crushed under the weight of guilt, she finds the only way to silence her conscience is to share in a greater darkness. The once magnificent mansion, a symbol of grandeur, power, and respect, has now turned into a funeral home echoing with whispers. The silence wandering the corridors is not only a harbinger of hidden secrets, but also of a regret and fear ready to explode at any moment. Asli, like a cornered hunter, is becoming increasingly fierce and reckless. Every new intrigue she devises to distract Eights and keep him away from the truth is actually tightening the noose around her own neck. Panic-driven moves those traces will eventually return to their owner. Unbeknownst to Asli, she is no longer the hunter, but the hunted. One thing is certain. As the final cards are played in this game, every crime committed in the past, every suppressed scream, and every ignored sin will surface one by one. And as Asli's darkness spreads to suffocate others, it will first cut off her own breath. The time for settling scores in Arafta is approaching. Moreover, this time there will be nowhere left to escape. What do you think will happen in the new episode? Please, don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. The story continues to become more exciting with you. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel to watch the breathtaking new episodes. Every second spent in Mercan's hospital room has silently but shockingly transformed the dramatic weight of Arafta into an awakening. The struggle for life under the cold lights of intensive care not only carried her body to a different threshold, but also her mind. When she opened her eyes, the Eights she saw was not the man she knew. His shoulders were hunched with grief. His eyes darkened from sleeplessness, and the ancient pain he no longer tried to hide whispered a single truth to Mercan. There was so much that had not been told to her. The fragility created by her trauma allowed Mercan to see the lying barricades surrounding her more clearly than ever. She began to question why her family had distanced themselves from her, why they gave evasive answers to her questions. The guilt and anger that deepened in Eights' gaze every time they met unintentionally dragged her towards the dark corridors of the past. Every clue that fell silently was a piece of a bloody truth breaking free from dusty shelves. The recovery process was not a healing period for Mercan, but a time of confrontation. As she gained physical strength, her mind began to peel back the veil of the past. The innocent, oblivious young girl was gone. In her place stood a warrior who had to question her dark legacy that came with her bloodline while trying to heal the deep wound in the soul of the man she loved. The contradictory and unfinished confessions spilling from the attacker's mouth whispered that the real danger was not a stranger, lurking in the dark streets. Rather, it was hiding behind the mask of a friend with whom he sat at the same table every evening, shook hands, and trusted. In this journey, every answer birthed a new question, and every truth isolated mercan a little more. Those who want to learn what mercan will do can follow this exciting story by subscribing to my YouTube channel. The tension continues to grow step by step. This awareness is gradually turning mercan into a stranger to her own family, while making her a silent but unwavering harbor against Eitz's darkness. However, how safe is this harbor? And how bearable is this darkness? As mercan grows stronger with knowledge, she is also getting closer to paying the price of knowing every day. Because in Arafta, some truths do not awaken a person. They lead them into an irreversible war. The psychological depth of the series reached a catharsis in that famous scene where Eitz confronted the attacker he caught. This scene was not just a physical confrontation. It was a breaking point where the concept of enemy in Eitz's mind was fundamentally shaken. With this horrifying awareness, Eitz transformed from a man making impulsive decisions into a strategic hunter who uses silence as a weapon, weighing every word and waiting to strike the fatal blow when the time comes. For the audience, the greatest tension is no longer what Eitz knows, but whose world he will bring crashing down with what he knows. In the final sequences, the long, sorrow-laden dialogues between Eitz and mercan contained the most shocking clues about the future of the series. Mercan's cry of "Tell me what you are hiding from me" was like the last drop that burst the dam of all the silences, swallowed confessions, and unfinished sentences that had accumulated over months. The famous black file that Eitz held in his hand became a concrete symbol of a massive destruction that would collapse not only on the hidden documents but also on a pure love. When that file is opened, nothing will be as it was before. Eitz, knowing that once the truths are spoken, they will burn all possibilities of a happy ending to ashes, left the audience in a breathless uncertainty with his heart-breaking indecision. To sum up, Arafta is no longer just a revenge story, written in blood. Under every step lies a secret ready to explode, and behind every gaze hides an unspoken betrayal. The road splits in two for Eitz, but whichever direction he takes, to sum up, Arafta is no longer just a revenge story written in blood. Under every step lies a secret ready to explode, and behind every gaze hides an unspoken betrayal. The road splits in two for Eitz, but whichever direction he takes, the cost is heavy. He will either ensure justice with his own hands, and risk losing mercan irreversibly, or he will lock the ghosts of the past in the cover of that famous black file and build a life that appears perfect from the outside but is based on lies with the woman he loves. In this world, no one is innocent. Every character is trapped in a cell of their own sin, fear, and silence. As they try to escape, the walls close in, and breathing becomes difficult. Ironically, every move they think will lead to salvation binds them to each other with an even tighter, more dangerous knot. Loyalty here is not a virtue, but a test. Love is not a refuge, but a weak point. The past never stays behind. It is just waiting in a darker corner for the right moment. As long as that black file remains closed, everyone may seem to stand tall, but the moment it opens, the truths that have been hidden for years will fall like dominoes. One thing is certain. Once that file is opened, no secret will remain secret in Arafta, nor will anyone be able to return to their old life. There will be no stone left unturned, no head left on a shoulder, and what will remain are only the irretrievable consequences of the decisions made. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel to watch the adventures of mercan and Eitz. Looking forward to seeing you in new videos. Please don't forget to like the video.